So I wasn't going to make any more videos of actually working on the mower because it's basically done. Just this rubber's, I guess, cheap. It's tearing really easy. But I had been leaking here and I thought it was maybe a seal around this, but it's actually the weld is leaking. So I'm gonna take this piece off and weld some of that. Try to get rid of that leak. Hopefully that fixes it, but that's where it's leaking at. So let's get this off here and get it fixed. Well, it's stuck. There's a fine crack around it. I just went all the way around it. Hopefully that'll tie it in good enough to where it won't leak. Let this cool off and slap it back on there. Alright, well, like I just said, I wasn't going to do any more repair videos. But yeah. So I welded that. I think it might maybe still be leaking, but I can't tell because my hoses are leaking now. This case drain hose here has a cut in it now, and that's probably my fault for the way I've run the hoses. But all these are wet, so I'm not sure something's leaking in here. But I do know this is still leaking. I replaced that O-ring, but this is still leaking, so it must be this. And this is wet. I can't tell if it's coming from this or if this case drain is leaking here. The guy that done the hydraulic hoses, these ends were a little bit different. Same thread, but apparently it might needed something different here. So I don't know if that's the problem or not. I don't know a lot about that, but anyway, it's awful leaky, so let's get rid of some of these leaks. And also I cut some yesterday and this happened, so I'm gonna have to weld this back on. And I don't know, I guess it was my fault. I was cutting probably like a 5-inch little sapling. I guess is when it happened. I don't know, it started making a funny noise a little bit after that, so I guess that's when it come loose. And some of these bolts are loose. I'll have to tighten them up. It's one I ain't flung one out and went through the cab or something, but I'll tighten these up and weld that one that's broke. I don't see any other broke. I've spun it around a few times looking at them all. Yeah, the rubber just keeps getting worse and worse on it. And I mean, that's just, look how easy that tears. That's just normal use is getting that, just little shrubberies and brush, but I am cutting bigger stuff. But when I notice this rubber actually contacting anything, it's small stuff. So all right, let's weld this on here and then we'll track down some of these leaks. Hopefully get this thing where I'm not making any more repair videos. Alright, so this broke off, so I'm just going to put this in here for kind of like a spacer, so I know where to tack this. Give it a little bit of room to fling around in there, and that looks fairly straight. We'll tack it there and see what it does. I believe that'll be alright. Here, let's try this washer instead. give it a little more space. That looks pretty straight. That looks pretty good. Let's stick it there. That don't look too bad. Looks better than the weld that was on it. And I'm no welder. Now I'll start this thing up, raise it up where I can weld the back side of it, and we'll take another look at the rest of these, and then we'll tighten some of these bolts up and try her out again. Well, after we fix the leaks, of course. Let's get on it. Go. Like I said, I'm no welder, but it looks better than what was on it. Alright, let's get this thing fixed. So I went through and tightened those up a little bit, just snugged them down. I mean, you know, they still flail and stuff. Still plenty of slack. It just kind of tighten them up against the brackets, so hopefully the bolt or the nut don't back off too easy anyway. I'll just keep an eye on them. So now let's get to this part here. I'm gonna take this fitting out and see if I can't do something about that, because the whole time I thought that O-ring was leaking, but apparently it's leaking around that. So let's start there, and we'll tie this hose up a little better. It's pulling out of the zip tie. I should have known that wouldn't hold too well. I'm gonna probably make a little bracket and bolt it into there, or see if I can't buy something, but probably end up making something. And I'm not sure if these are leaking or not, but I'm kind of thinking they might be the way it looks. So I don't know. And I kinked this. I believe it's leaking in there, but hopefully it's just oil that has ran down to it. I don't know, but more than likely it's probably leaking too, my luck. So all right, let's get started on this. Dang. There you go. Let's take the quick couple fitting off of it, and then we'll see if we can put a impact socket on it, because that's tight. Dang. Now that baby was tight. So I kind of messed the threads up there. We'll try to straighten those up a little bit. It looks a lot better already. Now, I don't know about this kind of bending the end of it out. I don't think I would have done that no how, but I could have. I didn't even notice it. I believe it'll be all right. Let's try it out. I wanted to switch these out because I am going to be getting a hammer, or not a hammer, but I might eventually get one of those, but a thumb, and it threads in to this back port. I was just going to swap these out while I was at it. Hopefully that's tight enough. Try to get these cleaned up good, so see where any oil may be leaking from. So this big mess here I'm going to take loose. I think it's leaking somewhere, and flip it around Might try to line the hoses up better, I don't know. Maybe something like that would be better, I don't know. Or probably that right there, actually. Let's try it like that right there. run it a few minutes, and I see some oil right here. It don't look like it's coming from this fitting anymore. I think it's this quick couple, you see it? I think that's leaking. The case drain, I don't see any leaks in it just yet. And this cut that I had in the case drain, I don't think it's leaking, so that's good. I still see a little bit of oil under here. Still possibly this fitting I welded. Yeah, it might be leaking still. But that's an improvement, so I guess we're going in the right direction. I'm gonna reach up here and cut some of these limbs. Always hanging over the road, and if we get the snow, they'll kind of hang down and scrape the top of my truck and stuff. So let's cut some of these out of the way. with all that cutting, well, I say all that cutting wasn't a whole lot, but I don't really see much. Just little there, but I don't know. It ain't hardly any on the hole, so the case drain's still pretty dry. Huh? All in all, I'd say that's an improvement. So I'll take that. Yeah, I'm tired of making videos of working on this thing, so hopefully that part's about done and it can be just videos of me actually cutting with it. So let's go over and clean up this mess and get on something else. bring no extra battery down here with me. It didn't have a whole lot of charge left. Don't know what I was thinking. But I was just trying to dress this up a little bit, get rid of some of these stumps and some of the rocks. So you can see I didn't get them all. And I mean, I could have spent all day down here plucking rocks out. So I got the worst of them. This way I can throw a little grass seed on it and be able to cut it some, because there was these big stumps and stuff in here and I couldn't get over in here with the mower. And I'll probably gravel some of this over in here off the side. That way it makes it easier for me to swing a trailer up my driveway and or turn down here if I need to, because sometimes if I load something up, I don't really want to load it at the house and come all the way down, because my driveway's kind of curvy and steep in a few spots, so it's easier to load down here in the flat. So this will help give me some more room for that stuff. But yeah, I wasn't really intending on turning this into any kind of little project, but I just got down through here smoothing my gravels, and I said, what the heck, I'll smooth some of this out too. But looks pretty good. I'll eventually dress it up, level it up a lot better. Probably go all the way over in there where that rock is, fill all that up, good and level. That way this will be a good turning spot. But that'll be later on. No rush. Alright, let's get on something else.